Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Matt Tebow with Stacked, and today I am joined by the victor of the Team Liquid Cloud9 matchup after eking it out in the long game, Jatt, the head coach of Team Liquid. How are you doing, man? Congratulations on the win.
Yeah, doing pretty well. I'm pretty happy that we're able to pull out the win today against Cloud9. It was a very close game.
Walk me through, what was your point of view like as a coach, seeing how the team played?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I'll cop it on the chin here. We missed the Gragas ban, I think, on the 4-5. The Karma ban, I don't think was very useful and ended up making the game harder because it gave them some good kiting opportunities and made the game harder for Skarner. So I'm glad that the guys were able to still problem solve in game and pull out the 42-minute win based off a lot of the stuff that we practiced this week. So I'm happy about it.
Yeah, when you say you missed the Gragas ban, I believe he was picked first, right? And it was intended as a flex. Do you
Oh, sorry. Did I say Gragas? I meant Gangplank. Yeah.
Gangplank.
So that can be. People are going to listen and be confused. Let's hope they don't just click the quote in the thumbnail. It was Gangplank ban on the 4-5. Would have been a good ban for us.
I was going to say, because I thought Gragas got first picked, and I think they were trying to trick you guys into flexing him, right?
Yeah, we knew it was a flex pick, so it's fine.
Okay. Well, I mean, there we go. We adjusted there. But besides that, taking it on the chin, as you said, it was a long game. How do you feel the team played overall?
I think we played the early game out really well. I think when you look at that team composition, they're trying to lane kingdom us, and they've picked themselves into a draft where they don't really have that much of a front line. So if we can get through the early game and then start getting the proper setup on objectives, it's going to be a really hard game for them. So the first 15 minutes or so went really, really well for us, getting 2 dragons and getting a slight gold lead even when they had kind of the lane kingdom picks, in my opinion. And then from there, we actually fumbled some setups afterwards and had some really awkward starts to team fights, which put us in a hole. And at that point, like when you're 30 minutes in and you're playing a game like this, all hell can break loose. So at that point, I think the guys just kind of pulled back on their experience. Barney made some great outplays, solo killing perks in the side lane was huge, and the team kind of pulled together and problem solved the game, which I was happy with.
Alfari really came alive, especially near the end of the game. I think solo killing perks is what set everything off. Could you tell the momentum was shifting as soon as like Azir pulls up his Sun Disc, Alfari gets him? Was that the moment where you're like, okay, we're gonna win this game, or were you still worried at that point?
I mean, that was the moment where we had our opportunity because we've solo killed big damage dealer in the side lane. We have TP on our Gnar still, and immediately after we get a pick on the one person who doesn't have QSS. That's like kind of a dream scenario, right? So we moved to Baron and try and make a play there, but it was still tense. The game was definitely not won based off that play.
It seems like Alfari's performance has kind of been the way through which Team Liquid has funneled their offense and their success through this season, and I think with the top lane rankings that came out a little while ago, between the analysts, I think it was yesterday, they had Alfari at like first and second, if I recall correctly. The point being, they had them all near the top. Do you think that Alfari's success is what drives Team Liquid to their successes and failures, and when he struggles, the team struggles?
I wouldn't put it that strongly. I think every player does need to pull together in the team environment, but Alfari is definitely a player who is capable of pulling us to victory in certain situations, but I definitely do still feel like it's a team game, and we're continually emphasizing that every day we practice.
And recently, this morning, Team Liquid released a statement regarding the positive coronavirus test at the team facility. I was just wondering, as a coach, how do you plan on adjusting practices and like draft meetings to the result of this outbreak, this news, essentially?
Yeah, I mean, I will also just kind of call back to the statement, since there's still a lot of information yet to be going. There was a positive test result. They'll be tested again to see if there is a false positive or not. And we've had no other positive test results as of now. So obviously safety of the players is by far the most important thing. And we just go back to being an online team. It's something that has happened a lot in the age of COVID. I mean, it happened at Worlds when we were in quarantine for 14 days after going to China. So we have workflows that work. It just means we're doing more webcams on, we're doing online scheduling for meetings, and every player just has to be more individually accountable. But the thing that I'm really proud of the team for is beating Cloud9 today, because there's a lot of mental hurdles that they need to be strong about to be able to focus in on league and pull out the victory. I'm just really, really proud of the team, and I think the guys did a great job.
Yeah, given the current circumstances, and I think you addressed it with mental hurdles, Team Liquid's had a few pretty rough weeks in this split so far, and I think there are a lot of moments when players would like tweet out that they weren't very happy with performance. How have you helped guide them up to this this result? Essentially, you knocked off the first place team in the second part of the split, and you're putting yourself in pretty good contention for like a playoff spot, a good playoff spot, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
How have you had a hand in like helping to adjust to these kind of setbacks and hurdles?
I mean, I think that people shouldn't really be surprised that we beat Cloud9 today. Obviously, they are first place in the regular split standings, but I think we're 5-2 against them now. And if you look at a lot of the stats, it just kind of depends which ones you want to pay attention to. We're a best early game team in the league. We have just really fantastic gold stats in terms of holding more of the gold. It's a stat from Oracle's Elixir. If you look at like GPR or GPSD, we're tops in those statistics. And the win-loss has been the blemish. And obviously winning the game is very important, but the more important thing is that we're improving on a day-to-day. So I think our record has actually been worse than our play, and our play has been improving from week to week. So the whole time, I think, even though it can be a little dangerous when you're losing games to say things are fine, things have been fine. And we're just making sure we're identifying little things each week to improve on to hopefully win the split and go to MSI.
Mm-hmm. And with the presence of veterans on your team, do you think that approach has been kind of tailored to that kind of veteran presence as opposed to like looking at big overarching things that maybe some teams would focus on in the wake of like maybe a disappointing week?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a benefit of having players that have been around for so long. They understand the ebb and flow of the community conversation, and they just kind of know to not overreact based off of a couple best of one losses in the regular season when they know the behind-the-scenes trend lines of what we've been improving on. They know how we play in scrims. They know how we play in best of fives. They know how we'll play in playoffs. So the experience helps block out the noise that is often very negative.
Mm-hmm. And for just one last question, I'm just going to go ahead and pull this up. It's a tweet from your mid laner, Jensen, just put one out. I don't know if you've seen it yet or not. Just give me 1 second. Has to do with your game tomorrow. So,
okay.
Yeah, Jensen just tweeted at 7:01 p.m. Eastern time. So that would be what, 4:01 for you guys? Yeah.
Sure.
Got our first 3-0 week of the split. And you guys play CLG tomorrow, right?
Sure. Yep, we do.
How do you feel about Jensen putting that energy out into the universe right now before you've even set foot on the Rift and began, like, game planning the day before?
Jensen can tweet whatever he wants as far as I'm concerned. He's a very competitive player, so when he tweets something like that, I think he might just be trying to put pressure on himself because you don't want to tweet that and then lose. So it definitely, these types of games can have trap game energy where you have a big climactic match against the first place team and then you let your guard down. Mm-hmm. We're going to do everything we can to not let that happen. We let that happen in the first game of the season against Immortals where we lost a game that I really feel like we shouldn't have. Mm-hmm. And we're just going to prepare well and try and smash CLG tomorrow just like we would any other team.
Mm-hmm. On the subject of CLG, they looked pretty good last night, and I don't want to be the guy who's going to go ahead and overreact and say CLG's going to win Worlds or something like that. I don't know. But, like, how do you feel about, like, watching some of these, like, more development put-together rosters? Are you impressed with the way the league's been progressing? Do you feel it's, like, more competitive than it was last year?
I think that's a really hard thing to say. I think when you look at the standings, the top 6 teams have definitely been really competitive, and there's been a lot of swingy games. COG has been on the losing end of a lot of those swingy games, and then there's a few teams at the top of the standings that have been the beneficiaries of a lot of swingy games. So I don't think the standings are completely, 100% accurate to team strength. And what I do know is that COG has been playing decently the whole split. Mm-hmm. They've had a lot of games where they should have won and didn't. So by no means is that a team that we should take lightly just by looking at their record.
Mm-hmm. Well, once again, Jatt, thanks for taking the time to talk to me. And this is Matt Tebow with Stacked. You can find us online at stacked.gg and follow us on our socials at stackedlol. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that sub button. It really helps us out a lot. Jatt, thanks for taking the time to talk to me, man, and rest up and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.